again, everybody, and welcome to Sports Talk, Somerset Sports Talk, a production of Somerset County Recreation Parks and Tourism. I'm Gary.
I'm Jack.
You all remember Jack? We're sitting here at a rainy day.
Rainy day on the course.
So there's not a lot of golfing going on. But, Jack, if you want to get some good golfing in, why don't you tell them about the Skipjack Pass?
Skipjack Pass is still a hot ticket. $34 to play unrestricted for a year from the date of purchase. There is a buy-in of $99, but that's nothing, and you make that back if you play 3 times on the weekend. So it's a great deal. You can't play golf at a course like this condition or this level anywhere for that price.
And it is a beautiful course. They do a great job out here maintaining it.
It's greening up beautifully now.
Yeah,
too.
I noticed this. I was driving in. I was like, oh, it might be time
amazing
to get some new pictures of the course because it's starting to look good.
It's really
so come on out, check it out for yourself.
'Tis the season.
Yes, stop and see Jack or Mark, and they'll hook you up.
Yep.
All right.
We'll do it.
All right, we are going to talk some sports. We haven't been here for a while. A lot of things came up, and we were busy.
Stuff happens.
Stuff happens. And I'm just going to go over this really quick just because, like old news. NCAA tournament, we both got that right.
Yeah, how about that?
So that's a winner right there. The Masters, I believe I got that right.
Yeah, I think
I said wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I predicted anything on that exactly, but that's a good pick if you pick Rahm.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
good for you.
So yeah. So.
I know that Koepka was a late addition into my thinking when the week before I saw him win the Live tournament. And I knew he was going to play at Augusta, and thought, and there he was after 36, up by 4 shots. So
yeah.
He got worn down by Rahm, who just was workmanlike and playing Tiger-esque golf, really, and deserved the win. Yeah. He really did. So, and then he played the next week at Hilton Head and curried a lot of great favor there because after Thursday's round, he shot 1 over par 72 and could have easily missed the cut with a mediocre round on Friday. And he's the champion, and he tired from the week before.
Sure.
He came out and shot 64 and was asked by a reporter, well, you could have just tanked it and been home, by now. You wouldn't even be here talking to us. And he goes, he said, there's a young kid out there, maybe came to see me play.
Oh, wow.
I'm not tanking any round ever in my lifetime. Yeah. I'm here to play. When I tee it up, I play my best.
That's a great attitude.
And man, how about that?
Yeah.
I'd just shut that guy up quick. But it shows why he's the winner that he is.
It's not just about him.
It's not just about him, and he's been a great spokesman for the tour and says he wants the championships. And power to him. He got the mightiest one that you can really have.
That's probably why you're the #1 ranked player in the world.
Hard to bet against him. He's down
you
to Mexico this week playing.
Those guys, their schedule is unbelievable.
He's the only, there's 2, him and Finau are the only 2 top 50 players, ranked 50 or below that are playing in that tournament down there. But he's down there. He's defending champ. So he really, he's doing a lot of really good things just with his being out there and being the spokesman that he is and playing the golf that he's playing. So, and I look for him. He might win the U.S. Open for all we know. That's not too far down the lane. And he got the PGA Championship prior to that, but he'll be right there no matter when he's playing. So,
good player.
Yeah.
All right, so we're recording this. Hopefully, going to get it on soon on our YouTube channel. But as we do, the NFL draft started yesterday.
Right.
The first round was last night, so we're doing this on a Friday. But before we talk about that, we're going to talk about probably the biggest news before the draft, and that's the Aaron Rodgers trade to the New York Jets.
What?
You didn't hear about this?
He left Green Bay? Oh my goodness! What a surprise!
It's deja vu all over again for Packer fans.
Oh,
it's funny how the exact same situation.
Well, he learned from the best.
That happened with Favre. Yeah. Happened with Rodgers. That they got tired of Favre retiring, unretiring, and they said, "Look, we're just going to go with Rodgers."
Yeah.
And then Favre wanted out then, and they ended up trading him to the Jets.
Right.
Same thing I think happened with Rodgers. Is I think they got tired of the what's he gonna do, you know. They couldn't get a hold of him because he was in some retreat.
He drove the boat though a lot, just because it's always hard to say no to a talent like
Yes,
him.
yeah.
And the fact that he's been there for as long as he's been there. But when he started going on the McAfee show and indicating that he would want to play for New York if they could swing the deal and et cetera, and from what I have gathered, and I really haven't listened to a whole lot of it lately, but even Green Bay kind of gave up a little bit more than they might have if they didn't want to get the deal done.
Yeah.
You know, and
so
they
I'm going to go
conceded
on that
on a couple things, you know, with draft picks or whatnot.
But all I know is that
he's gone. So
if Jordan Love has an outstanding career,
yeah,
10 to 15 years from now, New York Jets, you got yourself a quarterback.
Yeah.
That'd be 3 in a row.
Yeah, that's true. There you go.
So,
would that be?
So here's what I have, that I've heard this, that the Packers just really got the best of this deal.
Okay.
And here's what they got. The Jets got Rodgers, the first round pick. Their 15th. The Packers were picking 13th, and a 5th round pick, number 170. The Packers got the 13th pick, a pick in the 2nd round, number 42, and a pick in the 6th round, 207. And then this is why I guess they think the Packers got the best of the deal. They get a conditional 2nd round pick next year, which could be a 1st round pick.
Oh, right, okay.
So I say they didn't get enough.
Yeah.
They should have got, I think, maybe another player. The Jets, and they're talking about who had the leverage in this deal. I think the Jets had the leverage, and I think they could have probably got more for what they were asking too, though.
Yeah.
So I think it's a pretty. The only thing is that conditional 2 next year.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they get 1 extra pick in the 6th round. The Packers do, you know, and then all the talk about who they're going to get by moving up 2 spots, and that would mean maybe one of those wide receivers was available.
Right.
Those wide receivers were available till 20. I mean, they went, I think, longer than what everybody thought.
Right.
So that's what I think. I think that it's not. I don't think the deal was that great for either of them. I think one side or the other could have got more. But the Jets are getting a 38 or 39-year-old quarterback.
Yeah.
And
well,
coming off his worst year.
He's physically in pretty good condition. And
Yeah. I think he'll be rejuvenated.
He's probably going to be a little bit more into it. And if they can protect him, that's the problem in the Jets world, was that offensive line was porous.
Yeah.
But he's experienced at moving and still being able to create and so on. So listen, you'll see a lot more of the Jets on TV this year than you have ever seen them.
Yeah,
So.
which means I loved it because out here, I got to see a lot of Packer games.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
they
true.
were always on the 4:25 time slot.
They had a lot
or
of those
Monday
games.
night, Sunday night, Thursday night. They were in primetime a lot, and the key game.
So as a Packers dude, Packers fan, what's your feel for Jordan Love?
I don't know. I think he's gotten better, but it's hard to tell.
Is he going to be the guy? They got to use him, right?
Well, they don't have
anybody else to
back up yet,
which
which they might draft.
Right?
Which we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But
well, gosh, maybe it'll be a Geno Smith situation where he gets his chance and then shows the.
I hope he does. I mean, I'm a Packer fan. I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. But I think I'm more of a Packer fan, and I want to see him do well. I hope he comes in. He's got a good running game.
Yeah.
He's got some receivers that are young, but maybe they'll all.
Well, I look forward
together.
to seeing him.
Yeah.
Just because it's been that thing in the background for the last few years. And,
Right.
what has he been there 3 now?
I think so, yeah.
So of course, Rodgers was 3 or 4 before he got 3.
Yeah, it's just
before he got
similar.
to get up his chance. So,
Yeah. So
NFL is a funny place when it comes to quarterbacks, and it also comes down to the connections with the other players, and literally one guy can kind of bust things open in a positive way. So if he gets a receiver he clicks with, and maybe he got something.
And it's funny how I'm spoiled. I had Favre since I think 92,
right.
leading into Rodgers. So for a long time, I've had you always
nothing to worry about.
yeah, you always knew they had a chance because the
That's right.
quarterbacks were so good. Now, before Favre, between Bart Starr and Brett Favre, not so good.
No.
They weren't killing it like they were. So
No.
I've struggled. I've gone through the bad times with those struggles,
Yeah.
and then the good times. So
They showed on the ESPN. They were showing some moments from the past drafts, and they showed when Brett was drafted, and they said, and out of was Alabama's
Mississippi
State, out of Mississippi State, Brett Favre. I said,
it didn't know.
man, I remember making that same mistake when I saw his name. It was like,
Favre.
how do you pronounce that name?
Yeah.
But it certainly became a household name, and not too
People
long down
learned
the
it
lane.
in a hurry.
So, because it'll. Gosh, I'm already ready for football.
I'm looking forward to seeing what I saw him come in some mop-up duty in a couple games, and he did well.
I think I saw some of that when Rodgers was maybe he was hurt with
dinged
something.
up a little bit, yeah.
And he looked better than he had the year before. Let's just put it that way.
So
maybe
hopefully
there's hope.
they progress, yeah.
And
hopefully there's enough around him.
Yeah.
And
well, that's all. Well, wasn't that part of Rodgers' issues?
Yeah.
He lost his favorite receiver and wasn't getting any
there were a lot
any
of
help
things.
and so on and so forth.
Yeah. So anyway, that brings us to the draft.
The draft.
And real quick, and I'm sure if you watch it, you know this. Carolina took Bryce Young from Alabama, quarterback. Texans took C.J. Stroud, the quarterback out of Ohio State. And then they moved up and they took Will Anderson, the Texans again, the edge rusher from Alabama.
Okay.
And then this was where the first kind of question marks come in. The Colts took Anthony Richardson, the quarterback from Florida. And then just the top 5, Seattle moved up to take Devin Witherspoon, the quarterback from Illinois. So I just want to go to the top 5. There were 15 trades. People trade up to get a pick in the first round, which I think is crazy good.
That is.
And
interesting.
They
know something apparently.
Yeah.
They had needs.
And it's funny, we talked about being spoiled at quarterback. Carolina, not since Cam Newton in his early days have they had a solid quarterback, and you can really see how much the quarterback play affects these franchises.
Oh, absolutely.
The Texans, when they lost Watson, the Colts, since Andrew Luck,
it's the most important position.
So they've been searching and trying to find something.
Bryce Young's an interesting pick for small.
Yeah.
They're worried about his durability, a la Drew Brees, a la Tua, and what happened with him.
Right.
Getting busted up and still problematic even for coming this year. But
don't know if he's still in concussion protocol.
So they were saying Stroud, who's taller, might have been a better, pick for the future. Who knows?
Yeah.
When Jalen Hurts was drafted, it was like, really? He can't throw, he can't this, he can't that. But he's big.
Yeah.
And he can run, and he's done well not to get hurt. So
that's
we'll see.
I guess
Bryce. Listen. I like Bryce Young. I was very impressed with any of the games that I was able to watch from Bama this last year, particularly. But hey, number 1 in the draft. But look, Kyler Murray out there in the Cardinals, hurt.
Yeah.
Small, the same way. He's so size matters potentially. you know, in terms of longevity and even just reading the field.
Seeing the field.
Seeing the field.
Yeah.
You know, he can read. He's got plenty of IQ to read the defenses, but just being able to see over people, those guys, 6'4", 6'6", 6'7", some of those defensive guys.
Yeah, and it's to me, I don't care if your size is huge or not. I look at winning, and he went to Alabama, and he's a winner.
Yeah,
and that is going to carry through.
Well, the program's the winner there,
right?
And this is again that goes to the you know, when you listen to enough of this back and forth on the sports shows, but is it that you plug in? Now, all these quarterbacks are 5-star recruits,
right?
So they have talent. There's no doubt, and you just look at the last number of years of who's been plugged into that system. Some of them have left because there was too many of them around and gone other places and done really well, a la Jalen Hurts. So is it that he's able to do better than the next guy, or is it that Alabama gives him the opportunity to do better than the next guy based on the fact that they have NFL receivers most of the time level, you know, because they all get drafted very high. They have huge 5-star linemen, and the protection is usually very good. So, you know, look what happened. Georgia had literally an NFL team, size-wise, ability. Look how many of them went, you know, even in that first round. So, gosh, it'll be an interesting thing to see how Carolina does. And they've already been through, you know, others that have had some success at the collegiate level that have, you know, had a little bit of success.
Right.
And they've already been through them, you know, so. Eesh.
And is it the quarterback talent or is it the team around him?
Is it? We'll find out.
That's what you're going to find out.
That's why they play the games.
And I mean,
look at Jacksonville. You had Trevor Lawrence come out of Clemson and just killing it. And he's 6'5" or whatever, and has got everything that you'd ever want and the ability to be the man, you know, right? And was the man. And he gets into a system with the worst coach on the worst team at the NFL level, and he becomes an afterthought in some ways, although he did show promise towards the end of the season, that first season. And then last year, he did better, but he didn't blow the socks off in terms of his statistics. So, gosh, it's so much luck and so much being in the right place for your skill set.
The new coach, Doug Peterson.
Peterson's great with him, and he's going to
the second half of the season, he played well enough to get him in the playoffs. So,
and Carolina, I don't even know Carolina's coaches, but I think he's a decent
Frank
coach.
Reich, the guy.
Is it Frank Reich now?
Yeah. He was at Indianapolis.
Oh, I didn't know he'd gone there.
Yeah.
I gotta start boning up on my background.
I know. When you think about all the moves,
I got betting to do in the fall. I need to know who's who. Goodness gracious.
And Frank Reich.
He's a good quarterbacks coach, man. So he'll do well with that. At least develop.
You know, and
you know the expectation, and you know, I say this over and over and over. It used to sit the first year, no matter what.
Always.
Because you got to learn something. But these expectations now, you just plug them in because they come out of these pro-style offenses in college. So I guess they have a feeling that, hey, you did it college. It ain't that much different now here.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe we'll just go with you. But
the difference is
like Fields in Chicago. He got absolutely tore up because he had no offensive line.
Yeah.
And the kid at the Jets, you know, Wilson, he got tore up. And literally hurt, so he couldn't play, you know, and you feel bad for these talented guys that think they're the guy when they come out is going to be the next superstar. But Hurts was in a situation in Philly that enabled him to be given a chance when a lot of other coaches or owners might have said, we're going to make you a backup, or you're going to be a receiver or something different, or a flying guy or a tight end or whatever. But they stuck with him, and he worked hard, and he obviously did great work to get where he's gotten. And you don't see that a lot with this. Like, although they do say first rounders, particularly first picks, they're given the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, yeah.
So you're going to be with them 3 years at least before you can get rid of them.
Yeah, that first rookie contract.
Yeah.
So. Speaking of the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles. How about that?
Great draft.
Man.
I think the best draft. They had the best first night of anybody.
Yeah.
They got the defensive lineman from Georgia,
Yeah.
who slipped in the draft because he was associated with that car crash
Yeah.
where the player and the one staff member died.
Right.
And then they got the linebacker,
Right.
who was out most of the season with a torn
Yeah.
pectoral muscle, I guess.
Yeah.
So if he's healthy, he
Right.
was a stud.
Right.
Those two guys are going to go to Philadelphia's defense, which was pretty good.
It was pretty good, but it had some holes in it.
Yeah.
And if he can rush, he's pretty good.
He's a
Big
run
boy.
stopper in the middle too.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Eagles had some guys from Georgia
Yeah.
already just last year drafted last year, so they're going to come in knowing that it's going to be a little more relaxed.
Sure.
They're going to know people. I think that's going to help.
See, that
them
goes
adjust
to what
a
I'm
lot.
talking about with the chemistry and just that locker room and what goes on in there is important.
Yeah.
And Philly's certainly got a lot of momentum.
Yeah, they do. All right, now we'll go your team, the Washington.
The Washington
Commanders.
Oh yeah, the Commanders, right? Is that what they're still called?
this year.
I hear they're going to be sold. Finally.
Oh, that could change everything.
They might change the name again.
Yeah.
You never
or
know.
move them out of decent. No,
Well, I don't
that'll
think
never.
that
would never
that
happen. I'm
would be
sure
a
that's
bizarre
part
scenario.
of the.
Oh, that's got to be part of
That's
it.
got to be
Cachet
part of it
and
that you will
the
not
value
ever
of it.
move
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Their pick was a cornerback from Mississippi State, Emmanuel Forbes.
Hey,
I know nothing about him.
These are the guys ultimately that you kind of forget where they were drafted, and then the next year they either shine or they go, oh, what a terrible pick that was.
Yeah.
And then some sixth rounder is playing quarterback and getting rave reviews.
Oh yeah,
this guy was great.
Now I don't know nothing about
this
their
guy
needs.
is good.
I don't.
Well,
I know there's some young players on that defense.
Yeah, they're
iffy at quarterback because I'm not sure.
The quarterback position was a little bit iffy.
Yeah, but I think they're going to go with the guy out of.
But they also have real needs on the offensive line.
Yeah.
As most of these kind of teams that are 8-8, tend to have problem protecting the quarterback or opening the holes for the runs so they can do play action and all that. But hey, Rivera he's a defensive guy. He thinks defense first.
Yeah.
He's grounding him and pounding him in his mind, so I don't know where that falls in. Maybe they figure they can get the offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Second, third, fourth rounds, they can go with them.
Now,
so, I don't know.
That takes me to my team, the Packers. I thought they needed interior line or offensive linemen and linebackers. They ended up taking Lucas Van Ness, an edge rusher from Iowa. I heard he wasn't even the best edge rusher available at that point, but I guess the Packers liked him the best. You got two guys in front of him who are edge rushers.
That's interesting.
So I don't know, like Rashawn Gary's coming off an injury. Preston Smith is still, I think they just recently re-signed him. So,
okay.
Well, you wonder why.
Where are they going to fit it?
This is like the, I don't know, 38th consecutive year they've taken a defensive player in the first pick. I mean, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
They don't.
Except for Jordan Love.
Yeah, well, that's true. He was the second number one.
Oh.
He was. I think they moved up to like. The
he was. Okay.
He was.
It wasn't their first pick.
No, he wasn't the first.
Oh, it was a defensive.
It was a defensive player.
Oh, okay.
So I think it was Jay Erickson.
Then they should have a great defense by now.
Well, you would think. I think it's their weakness, but everyone talks about how great they are.
Yeah.
But I don't think they stop enough people.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there you got a guy. Maybe he comes in and he can fill the need for another rusher. Maybe spot one of those other two guys. So I'm not sure what they were thinking there.
Yeah.
I don't know what Packer fans in general thought. But
I always like the announcers that do the research, or whoever does the research, or they choose to put it out there during the season, or even like in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
As to, okay, on this team they had, X number of first round picks.
Right.
None of them are playing.
Yeah.
And they have a 6th rounder, a 5th rounder, and a free agent, or a non-signed free agent, non-drafted free agent. You just don't know at that level who's going to make it.
Right.
And it's a lottery. It's almost like a lottery. Is that you just hope you pick the right number, and you get the right person for what the job is. And it's such an interesting
but these are
exercise.
And they're multi-million-dollar decisions people are making. So
right.
Hope they're getting it right.
Right. That's exactly right. No.
And not to leave out our Baltimore Ravens friends.
Well,
their biggest deal was
their savior is back.
Lamar Jackson. Yeah. That's probably
I know
the
some
best
people
move they got.
that are just absolutely crazed Baltimore fanatics. I mean, they just live and eat, Baltimore Ravens and Orioles, but in the Ravens case. And one of them texted me last night and said, "Oh, I was so hoping he'd find another team." I said, "Oh my Lord, that's not the kind of support you want to have for your guy that you're paying 5 years, $2 zillion."
And there's a guy on our works with us in this department who's a huge Ravens fan, and I think he was like, if he goes, he goes. We don't.
Yeah,
we
it
don't
kind of
really
almost
need
could
him.
be Rodgers-like, where you just got tired of the non-committal attitude
right
towards the franchise.
Yeah,
and then his name is out there. Nobody's. Maybe they're looking for him, but his price tag's so high.
And I think he got what he was asking for.
He must have gotten what he was asking for, because he said he wouldn't play if he didn't.
Yeah, and I think the big praise is...
Now, does he get hurt? That's the thing.
How many times did he have COVID last year?
Well,
he got that a couple of times, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to protect against
that. Yeah, but he's got, with all the running that he does.
Yeah,
it's interesting to see. But that receiver, didn't they pick a receiver?
Their
right?
first pick was
they said he's a good route runner.
Flowers.
Yeah.
From Boston College.
Good, smart
and he
player.
Said big. I guess he's a big target, and he's got some speed.
So the key is he can run the routes. Will the ball be there for him? That's the thing.
Yeah.
The ball has to be there.
I think he can get it there.
Hey, listen, I love watching Lamar Jackson play.
Oh yeah.
Because he is a mile a minute. You never know where he's going to go, and he can move like very few athletes have ever been able to move. Just like sideways and forward and back, and you just go, how do you do that?
And he's taken some hits, and
now he's taking some hits,
but he's
got none.
It hasn't really affected. Like that's Robert Griffith 2.0.
Well, of course.
And Griffith, we saw it happen to him.
Oh, absolutely.
He pretty much one big hit wiped his career out.
It doesn't take much anymore with the size of these and quickness of these players. So.
And then finally the draft. Oh, by the way, Washington got a B grade from whoever grades these drafts.
Well, of course.
Baltimore got an A grade. I guess they like that pick.
Okay.
And Green Bay got an A.
What about the Patriots? Did you see in there?
I didn't look it up.
I heard from a friend of mine who's a Patriots fanatic that they got a great pick. So
I know he moved down.
He moved down, but he got a pick.
More picks, yeah.
He got a pick that was perfect for what they needed, and a higher pick than they thought they would get.
Yeah.
Even though they moved down, I guess, or something. But they're praising Belichick apparently. Wow. So we'll see. They kept Mac Jones as the quarterback. I thought there was some talk about moving him.
I heard they didn't get along.
But the last year problems was well, I'm sure Belichick's not getting along with him because Belichick didn't give him an offensive coach after I'm out of football season. Whoever went to the Raiders, the OC that went to the Raiders, and there's Mac Jones, second year quarterback, with defensive guys calling the offensive plays.
Yeah.
And when both of them had gone to other teams, neither of them had any success. So, not a great situation.
Right.
Now they started to do a little bit better towards the end of the year. I think Mac Jones is a big talent, and given the right system, given the right scenario, he's going to flourish. But
I agree.
Maybe that's not the place for him.
But How do you argue with Bill Belichick? I heard that they did not.
Yeah.
They kind of.
Yeah, they had some issues.
Yeah.
Well,
rubbed up against each other in
Mac's,
the wrong way sometimes.
Well, Mac went up against Saban at Alabama, so he doesn't have any fear of taking on the coaches, but he's smart. He'll do what's necessary. His mistakes, I think are. You don't want to say he's blameless, but he's thrown into coverages that he shouldn't be thrown into, and if he doesn't. He's getting yelled at or whatever.
Right.
And that's the things that I think, who knows what really goes on in the locker rooms. But Belichick didn't get along with Brady either, not in any sort of friendly way.
No.
So you know where that ended up, a lot of Super Bowls.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Something else that's on right now that I'm not watching a lot of, the NBA playoffs.
Yep.
The Bucks, my hometown team.
Yep.
Lost.
They failed.
They lost
so
to Miami. And I'm telling you, there's something about Jimmy Butler.
It's amazing.
The guy, when it's playoff time, can carry your team.
He brings it.
And he's had an outstanding.
Oh yeah.
Outstanding.
The knock on him is it doesn't keep going. It doesn't burst. So we'll see.
Yeah.
See you in the next round.
Yeah.
But he brought it.
Yeah.
Scored some points those last couple games.
Yeah, so the Bucks are out. Giannis says it's not a lost season, but I think everybody thinks it is.
At that level, when they've won one already, and expectations are high, it's hard to say.
When you're number one seed,
it's win it or, it's not a good season.
Yeah. The other one, the Suns and Nuggets will start the second round.
Yeah, we'll see.
And see if Jokic can carry them.
Got a good team.
Yeah, they got a couple of players that are really doing a good job for.
They're blending in pretty well.
Durant and
Booker and
CP3.
So if they can put it together, they could be the sleeper from the West.
Yeah. Heat and the Knicks. It's good to see the Knicks.
How about the Knicks?
In the next round. Yeah. It's good to see.
New York loves that.
Yeah.
They come out in droves now.
It's kind of fun. It's a different team.
It's a different team.
The Cavaliers played the Knicks in the first round.
Yeah.
And it's like, you kind of get tired of the same teams.
Oh, sure.
Greatness is one thing.
That's right.
But when it's the same
Brunson,
teams all the time.
Brunson's on the Knicks, right?
Yeah.
He's good.
He's been lighting it up for them.
He was Villanova, right?
Yeah.
So
Villanova guy.
Wouldn't have picked him coming out of Villanova to be a superstar, but he's a superstar.
Right. I thought he would be
really
a solid guard.
He's a star, man. That guy really takes over the games.
Yep, he's leading them.
So great.
The 76ers and the Celtics.
Yeah, classic match.
Embiid, I think, is what?
Well,
he finally won a series? I don't know.
Yeah, he was in and out with the injuries and all, but
he seems to always be injured.
He's a big man doing a lot of different things, so they play pretty tough. Playoff basketball, they play harder.
Yeah.
And things can happen. So
and the Celtics.
Celtics, I think, are not peaked yet.
Yeah.
I think if you remember last year, they played better as the playoffs went on.
Yeah.
So they didn't win it all, but they certainly got close.
Yeah, and Tatum's just a superstar.
Tatum's great, but I tell you what, that Jaylen Brown is putting up some points.
He can shoot.
Woo!
Yeah, if those two stay together.
I learned my lesson. I don't go on the under on him anymore. He's an over guy for his points.
Oh, he can light it up.
He can light her up.
The Celtics just seem to be missing something.
I don't know. Maybe it's the coach. They had that different coach last year.
Yeah.
Who had ran into trouble and they gave him the boot.
Yeah,
but
who just got hired at Houston.
He got Oh, he did. Is that right?
Yeah.
So maybe there's an element of that. Coaching can be a big part of playoff wins. So this is a young guy, never been there before. I guess if you ain't been there before, you got to get there to be there before. So maybe this is the year they get. He gets it. But it'll be fun to watch.
And Lakers, as we talk, are up 3-2.
Yeah. How about that?
The Grizzlies, the Warriors are up 3-2 against Sacramento.
Yep.
Sacramento finally putting some pieces together.
Yeah, they've got a pretty solid player. I mean, that Fox is unbelievable.
Yeah,
he's great to watch.
I haven't really seen him play much, but I saw him in college. He was good in college.
He doesn't have the fro anymore.
Oh.
You can't hardly recognize him because he had that big head of hair. But no, he's playing well. And Golden State, I don't know. They've been an odd team this year, and Draymond Green with all of his issues of how he plays and so on. But Steph Curry's still the Magic Man.
Yeah.
Still puts it down from way downtown.
As long as he's, I mean,
so
as long as he's shooting, he got a shot to win.
And they still pass the ball beautifully. Klay Thompson is a wonderful player.
It's one of those teams that brought me back, because to me the NBA became high pick and roll.
Yeah.
And it got boring to watch.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but it got
boring.
It's
to
effective.
Watch.
It's hard to stop.
It is hard to stop.
And
still
then
a lot that way. Still a lot of those high picks, man.
The Warriors would pass the ball around the perimeter.
They do.
And take the threes, and it was fun to watch because there was ball movement.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest drawback from the NBA.
Yeah.
It's not a lot. One guy will come down and either shoot or screen
and there's
roll.
a little more rebounding in the playoffs too. They tend to go for the ball a little bit more.
Yeah.
Coming off the rim, so that's a prime fundamental from my days. You blocked out, you went for the ball. Offensive rebounds were a big part of getting points.
And you see it; they're all heading back on defense.
They're all going the other way because they're down in 3-point land.
And you don't poke the bear.
No.
And that's what Dylan Brooks has done to LeBron.
He did it.
And you don't hit the bear in the groin.
LeBron is, I think they put a better team together since the trades.
Yeah.
And the pieces fit better.
Yeah.
And that new guy, Reeves, he's really doing well.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, he's a bit kind of, when he's on, they win. LeBron always pours in 25 to 35.
Yeah.
So.
And as long as he's playing, I'm not a big LeBron fan.
But he's a winner.
But he's a
he gets
outstanding player. You can't
they wrote
knock
them
his
off.
game.
I mean, the Lakers were written off.
Yeah, they were.
And then they had that big surge towards the end and had to do the play-in game just to get the position.
Just to get in.
So now I think there could be a little bit of a problem out there.
And you can't count any team out with LeBron on it.
No.
He's still
got
at
the
his
magic.
age, talented, and can carry a team.
He's a freak. He's
So,
one of those guys. It's just no matter what his age, seems like he still plays great.
One of those guys.
Yep.
So the next couple rounds will be good. It seems like the playoffs last forever.
This
will be over
because they do. It goes till June.
Yeah.
It's a long period of time.
So 7
games. Wow.
I'm sure we'll talk about it again.
Oh, we'll be deeper into it next time, more likely.
And then really quick, we're going to touch on. It's early in the Major League Baseball season, but the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, how about them?
Playing well. I guess it's
great.
the second best record in the American League.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay's 21-5.
Yeah. Too bad they're in the same division.
Yeah. It's always
that. Right?
The Yankees or somebody else's.
But I tell you, Baltimore's fun to watch. I actually am watching them this year.
Yeah.
And there's no give, no quit in any of those guys.
And they're young.
Maybe
they don't know better.
Maybe not. And they didn't quote have any starting pitching, but these starters are getting through 6 innings, pretty low run totals. And the bats have been just coming to the rescue, particularly later in the game. So can't count them out.
And the good, I've seen a lot of these guys come through the Delmarva Shorebirds.
Mm-hmm.
So you can tell. Like I work for them part-time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm up there every night when they're playing home games. And you can just see guys who
gonna have a chance.
who have it.
Yeah.
Like you see it. And
That's neat.
It's fun to see when they're young.
That's neat,
And there's probably 5 or 6 guys I looked at, and you see them in 1 or 2 series,
Mm-hmm.
even the away teams. They're like, that guy's gonna.
Did you remember Rauchman?
Yes. Oh yeah, that was
an easy one, right?
Well, when you're the number 1 pick,
he's pretty much.
You could see it.
But he helped change that team around last year.
Yeah.
When he got there, I'm getting information from an Orioles crazy.
Yeah.
I mean that's crazy, but kind of hard. Although they're playing better than I thought they would this year, they're still way down at the bottom.
Right.
But the Orioles, that's why I'm watching, just because I want to get to know the players better and be able to follow it. So.
And it was like with Gunnar Henderson.
Yeah.
I saw him play. He was like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
And he walked out with white spikes on. And I'm like, this guy's got
there's
something about it.
Got the swag, huh?
And he
it's all mental at some point.
And
well, that's awesome. Well, didn't their number 1 pick this year?
Last year.
Or who was
Last
Who's the latest
Jackson
guy?
Jackson Holiday
Yeah.
was drafted last year.
Last year, okay.
He was their number one. He was their number one pick. I don't know
Right.
if he was the number one pick in baseball.
Yeah, right, wasn't
Because
he?
they always had the number one pick.
Yeah.
And
He just got promoted, right?
yep, he played. I want to say 4, 5, 6 weeks
Yeah.
with Delmarva last year.
Oh, okay, last year, okay.
And then he played. He started there this year,
Yeah.
and they had their first series earlier in the month. And I said to somebody, "Get a good look, because we ain't gonna see him again."
There you go.
And it was one of the full-time employees for the Shorebirds,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Shh,
Yeah.
we don't want to say that too loud."
Not too loud, right?
But and this is
So does he have it? Did you see it?
yeah, you see it,
I didn't get to see him.
and like I've never seen a guy who can hit the ball in the gaps, left center, right center, the way this guy does.
And he's a lefty hitter,
He's
right?
a lefty hitter, shortstop, but I think he's going to end up playing second base.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a decent arm,
Well,
and he might be able to stay at short.
another bat can't hurt.
But yeah, and if he was hitting 400
Right,
when he moved up to
Right,
high A.
right.
So we'll see how he does from there.
Excellent. I hope
Yeah.
it works out.
Yeah, but if you get a chance to go see the Shorebirds, I recommend it. There's a guy they got there who's a catcher, first baseman.
Yeah.
His name is Creed Willems,
Wow, what a name.
and the guy is a fan favorite
Okay.
because he's like an old school catcher, physically looking. He's
He was made for the position.
I'm not one to talk, but we'll call him husky.
Stout.
Stout, stocky.
Stocky.
And,
There's that word.
And I think he's kind of got the mullet thing
Oh,
going.
my goodness. Okay.
And
So they love him, huh?
oh, the fans love him.
Yeah.
They do. And he is hitting the ball. He's like, I think, 390 right now.
Is he?
But he's hitting the ball for power.
Yeah.
He hit one out last night
Nice.
that went 390. I mean,
Ooh,
that was
That's
to
a good
right
smack.
field.
Yeah.
I've seen him hit it
Yeah.
over 400 to center.
That's pretty good.
And he's just driving the ball.
That's
And
interesting.
it's like when it comes off his bat, you know it.
Does he have any speed at all?
No, he's
So he needs to hit it out though.
well, no, he
He can get down, but he's
he
no.
can leg out a double.
Yeah.
But he's not like
Kind of
Holiday.
like Boog Powell used to be back when
Pretty
he,
much so,
back
yeah.
in his later in his day.
Doubles, singles,
Yeah, he
home
just
runs.
got to boom down to
I don't
first.
imagine Boo Powell ever led the league in triples.
No, you're.
So
It was that's true.
so yeah, so.
Well, that's fun.
But it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch these young Orioles.
Sure.
If they're pitching, some of the younger pitchers are starting to come up now.
Yeah.
That were here when they won the South Atlantic League.
Okay.
So if those guys step in and keep pitching like they were,
Yeah.
they're going to be fun for another
That's
couple
awesome.
years to watch.
That's
so,
great. I got to get out. I don't make time. I got to go do that.
Yeah, you come out on a nice.
It's a great
night.
place. I used to go when my kids were small.
Yeah.
On a regular basis.
Oh,
they
yeah.
had season tickets, everything.
Yeah. It's,
But,
it's such a
I mean,
relaxing,
such a relaxing spot.
night. You sit
Yeah.
there, and now the pitch clock. Which
Right.
I don't know how
I
they're
love
doing in the
pitch clock.
majors.
I love.
This is the second year for
Yeah.
the Shorebirds
Yeah.
in minor league baseball.
Yeah.
So the game moves
Goes
at a
fast.
good clip.
Yeah.
I mean, the last couple games were like 2:30,
Yeah.
2:30, between 2:30 and 2:45.
Yeah.
There were times where the game would go till.
Oh, 4 hours.
Oh yeah.
I remember.
And-
Well, believe me.
Yeah.
Particularly on a fireworks night.
Yeah. So, but I think the pitch clock.
I
They're
love-
used to it.
I think it's
I don't know
great.
if the majors are used to it yet. but
Well,
I think
they're
getting
getting
their
used
speed
to it
up,
because
yeah.
they have to.
Yeah.
But and it's made the game more interesting, a little more offense. I like it. Sped it up.
And you hate to see tradition of like, oh, there shouldn't be no clock in baseball. That's what the cry
Yeah,
was.
but it didn't take
Because
4
there's
hours
no
to
guy-
play those games back in the
But
day.
that's
they
when-
pitched fast.
But and
They
guys
didn't dally
didn't
around.
step out of the box after
No.
every pitch, adjust both batting
Look at the old
gloves.
films.
If you remember Nomar Garcia-Pera,
Oh, jeez. Well,
he went through some ritual.
Yeah,
I swear it was 30 seconds alone
Right.
between each pitch.
right.
That's the part where baseball lost its way.
That's right.
Guys stepping out of the box after every pitch, taking their time, couple of practice swings.
And there was no way to police it,
Yeah.
right? Because there's
Yeah,
no rules,
'cause
so
there's
you
no
couldn't
rule.
do it.
Yeah.
Now there's rules.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's
Pitchers holding the ball forever.
It's actually bringing it back to traditional baseball.
Right.
Meant that get it on, man. Let's go. Don't take a half a minute every time.
Yeah.
And
back in the day, games weren't.
They weren't.
There were no rules like that,
No.
but they were 2.5, 3 hours.
Well, they had to play before dark hit a lot of them. So they have they don't lights in the park, right?
Especially in Chicago.
Exactly.
So, So
that's a long season. We'll get to see a lot of baseball.
Yeah.
I hope the O's keep it up. That's exciting.
I do too. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
And when you haven't had a winner in a long time.
Yeah. Just think of the excitement when the Red Sox come to town, Yankees come to town, and they're actually ahead of them in the standings.
Yeah.
Then that stadium will rock.
Yeah.
Up there in Baltimore.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I think fans.
They're ready. It's been a while.
Yeah.
They've stuck through it pretty well for what's been pretty unproductive winning seasons over the last few years. But you could see, particularly last year, with that young group,
right,
there was some spark there.
Yeah.
And the hope was this year it would continue on, and here we are. It's kind of looking like it will. As long as that pitching maintains and maybe gets better, and see how that goes. Because I love the closer, Bautista. Man, he is a fireball.
Yeah.
And woo, his form gets a little bit off, and then he starts throwing it. And last night he walked. They came back like with 5 runs in the 7th or something, which is what they'll do.
Right.
They'll be down 4, come back with 5, and then bring in Bautista in the 9th. 1 run up, and somehow he gets through to the end, and that's how they've been winning games.
Yeah.
He walked 3 batters in a row in the bottom of the inning, the top of the 9th, I guess it was, because they were at home. I think they were at home, and then got him out somehow. Without giving them up a run, and they won. Yeah. So he's exciting to watch. He throws it over 100 a lot of times.
Yeah.
Or at 100.
Well, that's good.
So he's the real deal.
They're fun. All right. And then finally, I just want to throw this in. I went and saw the movie Air.
Okay. I haven't seen it.
Better movie than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I mean, you kind of know the storyline.
Yeah.
But it goes into details that I didn't. That are a little more.
A friend of mine told me something about it, and he said, "Do you care?" I said, "No." So he told me some of the stuff that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And it sounded like a pretty interesting format or story.
Yeah.
That if now they will embellish some of the facts.
Obviously, yeah.
But if the core of it is right, then wow. And what a story!
And you're talking about
a guy putting it on the line.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Nike. Nike, we all know now as this huge.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, back then.
Nobody.
84.
It was nobody.
Yeah, they were struggling.
I remember.
This could have broke them.
I said, "What's a Nike?"
Yeah.
I didn't pronounce it correctly.
Right.
I said, "What is it?"
Yeah.
It's a shoe company.
Yeah.
Okay, because there was the old school shoes. I can't even remember the names of them.
Well, Adidas, Converse.
Converse, that's the one.
Yeah.
I had plenty of Converse shoes in my life as a 70s child.
Yeah.
But a Nike?
Yeah.
What is that?
And they were just running shoes.
But based on what I heard, it was some decision to do what they did.
And out of all of it, Mrs. Jordan, smartest one of the bunch.
How about that?
With what she came up with.
Yeah.
And now
to this
you know why.
day, it's the brand. It's still the thing. I mean, think about that longevity of an interest in a person and a product.
And you know why he makes the money he does.
Yeah.
And it's not because
No.
It's, compared to his basketball salary.
Oh, my goodness.
Way
more.
His basketball salary is nothing.
Nothing.
To what he's got on this deal.
Bucket.
So you can see how he became.
Oh, yeah. The way they structured the deal made the difference.
Yeah. And it was groundbreaking. And Mrs. Jordan came out and said it.
Yeah.
Because they kind of went through her.
Yeah.
And smartest woman.
Made the difference.
Yeah.
It's really something.
So, if you get a chance, go see it.
Nike now has Jordan still.
Yeah.
And then Tiger Woods still.
Yeah.
And a host of others.
Yeah. Everybody.
So they've really made hay off the athletes.
Oh yeah,
you know,
and
so.
it was funny because they had a list of all the guys who were going to be drafted or were drafted.
Yeah.
And whose shoe company they were with.
Yeah.
And it was Elijah, Sam Bowie, Jordan.
Yeah.
I forget who 4 was. Barkley was on that list.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for this guy. Mel Turpin from
Oh,
Kentucky.
yeah, I remember Mel Turpin, yeah.
It was Mel Turpin and Sam Bowie
Yeah.
from Kentucky.
Right. The Twin Trees or something they called them or something. Yeah.
And who are you going to get? Mel Turpin to wear your shoe?
Yeah.
I feel sorry for
That's
you.
amazing, yeah.
You know.
Well.
But, yeah, so it's a good movie.
I'm going to have to watch it.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it.
Even if it's not at the theater when it comes out.
Yeah, I think that's more where I'll find it
take a
somewhere
look at it.
streaming once it stops in the theater.
So, yeah. All right, that's going to wrap it up
there
for
we
us. Get out, enjoy the weather, except when it's raining like that.
Yeah.
Come on out to the golf course. Come on out to the pickleball courts we got in Somerset County. A couple of outdoor basketball courts. Get out, enjoy the weather, and just get out and have fun.
It's time for summertime.
It's time. Well, yeah.
Be outside, enjoy the late night, late light and the early,
Yep.
the early
Go for a
mornings and
walk.
all that stuff.
We got a lot of places to walk. So come
That's
on out,
right.
get out. It's time. All right, until
Sounds
next
good.
time.
Very good.
Thank you, Jack.
You are welcome.
And
Thank
we will
you.
see you next time.